Hey everybody, so I don't do that many bike bag videos on the channel, but when Rogue Panda reached out and wanted to send me a sample of their new hip pack that they've been working on, I was pretty intrigued. In this video, a close look at the wah-CHOO-kah hip pack, which is Rogue Panda's first hip pack offering. So most of you watching my channel probably already know who Rogue Panda are. Small company based out of Flagstaff, Arizona, probably less than 10 employees total. All their bags are handmade. Most of their stuff is made to order, although I think they have like a small stock of like common bags that they sell. I always like the idea of a hip pack, especially when mountain biking, just to keep the stuff off the bike, but also I don't have to wear a backpack. So the hip pack concept is really nice. The thing that's always bugged me about hip packs, I just don't like the actual waistband and the feeling of constriction around my waist. So I'm always kind of struggling because I like the idea of a hip pack, but all the hip packs I've ever tried are just never really that comfortable, which is why I was particularly interested in this hip pack. What this has is actually these TPU wings, which are secured at 2 points on the pack, which are both adjustable, and they allow you to adjust not only the fit, like the wrap around the sides of your waist, but also the angle at which the bag sits, depending on which slot you use on the upper and lower buckle. You also have your choice of 2 sizes of these TPU wings. There's a smaller size here and a larger size. I'm not that big, my waist size is like a 32 to a 34, depending on the day and time of year. But I actually opted for the large size wings just because I wanted as much surface area to distribute the weight of the pack as possible. And so after trying both of the different wings in various different configurations, I've kind of settled on what works best for me, which is the large wings and the buckles set to the same sort of distance on the upper and lower buckle. It just happens to work out the best for my particular body. I also really like that the strap is nice and wide. I don't understand why some hip packs come with like a really narrow strap. It just creates that additional pressure and feels like it's just cutting into your waist, which is something I'm not a big fan of. The wah-CHOO-kah here comes with this nice buckle and a really wide strap. I'll actually just measure the strap here since we are a data-driven channel here. The width of the strap is just under 40 millimeters, so like 38 millimeters wide, which is nice, and it helps to distribute the weight of the pack over a larger surface area. There's at least 24 different patterns that you can get. The claimed weight for the Ultra 200X material with the small size wings is 265 grams. How am I gonna weigh this thing? What I have here is the large wings and the blue topo material, which I'm not sure is that Ultra 200. This weighs in on my scale at 324.8 grams. So slightly heavier, but I do believe this is different material, and I've got the bigger wings on here. So not too much of a surprise there. What I was just using to kind of roll this into a ball is actually one of the things that I like most about this bag, which is this sort of X strapping up on top. So this is really nice for like if you've got an outer layer that you want to shed, you can just kind of stuff it under this netting and cinch it down. So it gives you a lot of additional external storage space. So I think all of Rogue Panda's bags use this nice like chunky zipper design, which in my experience, I really like these zippers because they never bind up and it feels like they're just indestructible. Inside the pack, you've got a lot of space. There's these 2 mesh pockets just for a little organization. And then there's the main pocket, which is a claimed 4 liters of storage. And one of the things that's nice about the pack, if you look at the bottom profile, this bottom piece was cut so that this is a curved edge right here, which is really nice because a lot of hip packs will be flat, and then when you put them on, it feels like there's like a pressure point. Well, this pack is designed to wrap around you, which makes it like a really secure fit, and it feels like it kind of just distributes all your gear, not just on your back, but around the sides as well. So it kind of distributes that weight and just makes it feel lighter than it actually is. What's cool is on the inside, there's also this additional pocket here, which is a slim pocket, which is meant for a hydration pack. So you can also order one of these hydration packs, which is basically meant to fit in that little slot towards the back. This is a 1.5 liter like lumbar pack. So when you're riding, the hose just kind of follows the contour of the belt and clips into one of the sides. You should note that there's only 1 zipper on the main compartment. So really there's only 1 spot for the hose to come out. Now, just in the past few days, I did get an email and I saw some posts on the Rogue Panda Instagram that said that they were having some issues with this clip snapping off. I haven't had that issue yet. I mean, this seems like a pretty robust and tough plastic bit, but I can see like if you really stretch it out that the clip would just snap off. Rogue Panda kind of got ahead of this already, and as soon as they get an updated clip, I think they're going to be sending them out or offering a free replacement if yours does happen to break. So again, one of the really nice features of working with a small local company is that they're definitely motivated to continue taking care of their customer and supporting their products after the date of purchase. Now again, I don't typically use a lot of bike bags on my bike, and I very rarely use a hip pack because every time I've tried in the past, it just hasn't been that comfortable. My experience so far with the wah-CHOO-kah bag is that it's more comfortable than any of the other hip packs that I tried. But I personally won't go as far as to say that it's like ultra comfortable and it kind of just disappears while you're riding. I think personally, I'm just more picky about stuff like on my body as I'm riding. Like I don't like riding with a hydration pack. And even though this is the best hip pack that I've ever tried, I still definitely can tell that it's there. I'll usually just have tools, spare tube, phone, keys, wallet, and maybe a couple snacks and some gloves in here. So it's not like bursting at the seams, but there is a decent amount of stuff in there. And yeah, I mean, I can definitely feel that it's there while riding. One thing I do like is that when things get really chunky, it does seem to stay in place really well. Like it doesn't feel like it's bouncing around. And I think a big reason for that is that it's supported vertically, essentially all the way across the height of the bag. So, you know, there are some bags that basically just have a strap near the top, and then the bottom can start to flap around. This is supported, you know, at the top and the bottom into the TPU wing, into the belt. So it's a really nice, secure fit when it gets a little more chunky. So something that I haven't mentioned, of course, is the price. I mean, this is really high quality handmade stuff.
The price is $200 per quilt. Yeah, well, this is handmade quality shit we're talking here.
So of course, you shouldn't be too surprised to learn that this hip pack will set you back $140, and that's without the hydration pack. If you want the hydration pack, you can get it at a discount at the time that you buy the pack for an additional $20, which is a pretty good deal. So basically $160 if you want the full pack with the hydration bladder inside. Not cheap, but if you are someone who's a fan of hip packs, you prefer not to have a bunch of added weight on your frame itself, and you don't like to wear a backpack style pack, then a high quality hip pack like this could represent a pretty decent investment for your long days out in the saddle. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this one. If you have any questions about this pack or my experience with it so far, just drop them down in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to as many as I can. Thanks again for watching, and thanks for subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.